Hi everyone, this is Lisa with Big Blend Radio, and I'm sitting in R.J. Moody Appraisers, an office here in historic downtown Yuma, Arizona. And I'm sitting in an office with Bill Moody, R.J. Moody's son, and also Mary Lou, excuse me. I want to call you Mary Jo for some reason. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
But Mary Lou Milstead is here, and we're here to talk about the R.J. Moody Gardens, and Nancy and I visited the gardens originally in January of 2019 as part of the it was the inaugural Yuma Bird Nature and History Festival. And gardens were part of the tour, and we went to one of the programs. And this is a demonstration garden, and so it's really interesting. You learn about what you can grow in Yuma. There's a children's garden, there's a healing garden, all kinds of vegetable garden. So there was something really interesting to see what you can grow in a desert area. Of course, Yuma is really big in agriculture. But what we did notice was the display about R.J. Moody, and that's what we're going to talk about today. R.J. Moody really represents excellence. So this is one of our Love Your Parks Tour stories of excellence. Thank you to Bobby DePorter. Anyway, so can you tell me a little bit about the start of the garden? Mary Lou.
Right, thank you. We started, I think it started before 2000. Mm-hmm. It was a little plot of ground that was at the west end of the health department, and they didn't know what to do with it, but that also housed the University of Arizona Extension. Mm-hmm. And so they decided to dedicate that area to something that could become a demonstration garden. So Barry Beckett was the guy that inherited the job, and he asked the Master Gardener class of 2000 to start on designs for the garden. Mm-hmm. So there were several of us in that area, in that class, that started out to do it. And then we ended up planting 2003, and after all of our designs and were submitted, and we had a lot of support from the community. Mm-hmm. Yuma Parks and Rec supported us. Several nurseries in town. The University of Arizona supported us with money for our signage. We had some Boy Scout projects that put in parts of the irrigation. So we had community support, and it was a terrific effort by everyone. We all planted it in various stages. So it started in 2002, and we ended up with a garden. And the garden's been in since 2003.
It's beautiful. It really is, to see all the color. And even in January and winter, aloes were in bloom, and I love all the art in there too. And the children's garden with the tractor, and
the tractor is a big feature.
It's fun. Well, it kind of connects the agriculture part with gardening and farming, right? And Bill, that's something that your dad was, number one. Being at the U of A Extension office, that connects to your dad's history, correct?
That's right. Dad came here in either end of 1943 or early 44. He had been agricultural agent in Pima County, and in our family the story is that he came back from a meeting over here in Yuma, and he says, if we ever get a chance to go to Yuma, we're going.
Wow.
And so the job of county agricultural agent opened up here during World War II, and Mom and Dad moved here and had, stayed.
And started a family. Yeah. So you grew up here in Yuma, so this is your home.
Yes,
here.
I was born here. Nice. And Dad was agricultural agent for some time, helped develop the 4-H program here, helped get the Yuma County Fair started, along with others. And after he left the Extension Service, he became a farmer. Years later, he worked for Bureau of Reclamation as a real estate appraiser, and then eventually, once he retired, opened up this office. But in the meantime, he continued to be a 4-H leader for many years, both he and my mom. And then he was on the high school board for 26 years.
Wow. So education was part of what he was about, who he was.
Yes.
Education for all
youth
ages.
And education, yes.
Youth. And so when you look at the garden, R.J. Moody Demonstration Garden, it kind of ties into the agriculture part and the education that he was so, a big part of his life.
A little bit with the agriculture, certainly with education, and Dad just love this community and love doing things in support of this community. And the demonstration garden is a wonderful place for people to learn about what can be done here locally in terms of gardening and landscaping.
When you look at this being a story of excellence, it goes with a program that we're ambassadors for. It's called the 8 Keys of Excellence. It's a free family program teaching youth the 8 Keys of Excellence. And Bobby DePorter, I mentioned her, she created these 8 keys. And the very first one is integrity. You know, she always says there's no black or white. You stand with who you believe in. Would you say your dad, I know this is a story of commitment, which is the 5th key of excellence, but integrity and commitment seem to be the 2 main keys of who he was as a person.
Yes, I would go along with that. And Dad wasn't shy to work hard.
Yeah, work hard, right?
That's what we do.
That's what happens in gardens.
That's right.
That's it. So now you have a time capsule too.
We do.
I want to be around for that. Can I be immortal and open it?
Maybe.
Like 100
yes,
years?
you'll have to be immortal.
Okay, that's fine with me. But what's in the time capsule?
I think that there's a copy of the probably the Yuma Daily Sun, the paper. I think that there's a copy of the fair, one of the fair booklets. I'm not sure everything that's in there. We had a person that was really involved with our garden, Ellen Gardner, and she was the time capsule person. So she knows everything that's in there.
That's cool, though. And you've got a lot of tributes to people throughout the garden. Is it more of a memorial? It seemed like, you know, there was bench areas, there's
right. We have various people, master gardeners that work with the garden, and people that contributed to the garden, special garden club people. There are several memorials to them. And we also can honor someone with a tree in our garden. And so we have labels on our trees that honor different people.
When you look at community excellence, what do you think gardening does to help build a community and unite a community?
Oh, that's a hard question.
It's kind of cooler, because you get in the dirt together, right?
Yeah, that's right. I think that just learning about nature and learning about what grows, learning about how to nurture a plant, take care of what you have, and see a seed grow. I mean, those are important community ideas.
Patience.
Well, there's the fellowship of doing things together. There's the enjoyment of sharing knowledge with each other.
This is true. We all talk about it.
Sharing of knowledge, that's a big part of it, you know, because here you've got a tropical garden, so that's something that people don't really expect in a desert either. And there were some, and I'm going to call them snail flowers, because that's what I called them years ago, and I don't know what I'm talking about, but it's on the one Ramada by the tropical garden, near there, and they're purple flowers, purpley blue, twirly little thingies. They're pretty. That makes a lot of sense, right? I should show you the photo. She's looking at me like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
There's a vine in the room. It's a vine.
Okay.
And it's they look like giant sweet peas, but like.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
That's our morning glory. Probably our morning glory
bush. You've got like beautiful morning glories over there.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. How many plants do you have, do you think?
Oh, don't
ask.
That's hard. I know because I clean all the signs. So we have hundreds of different species in the garden.
Now, where did the lizard, Elizabeth the lizard, come from? The big, she's cool.
Isn't she cool? She was designed by Myra Saylor, and she's an artist that came up with this idea. The emblem area, which is the A that represents the University of Arizona, she designed that as well. But she made Lizzie. And Lizzie is named after Elizabeth Moody, who is the wife of Robert. Okay. And our special sponsor that we have now. And Lizzie is for kids to climb on.
Oh, cool, because it's cute. The beautiful, nice and colorful lizard. There's a lot of lizards out here.
Yeah, we have real lizards in the garden,
too. Did your mom like lizards?
My mom likes the garden. Yeah. And Mom's now to the point where she isn't active in the garden anymore because of her age, but she's always been a strong supporter and participant at the garden ever since it was created.
It's a beautiful garden. I'm enjoying there now. Kids going, the education proponent of this. Do you have kids programs where they can get their fingers dirty? And
we do periodically, right? So we have a homeschool group that are our weeders and planters now. So we have a lot of fun with them. We have preschool kids come through occasionally. And at one time we had high school kids that would work in the herb area, and it depends on who's active, whether they are connected with kids or not. So
I know that you're a military wife. You know about
right.
moving around, and Yuma is a military community as well. So is this something that's also important for families moving, into the area to be able to learn what they can do in a garden?
It's excellent for anyone, even our winter visitors. They can come and see what things are going to look like, and how big trees get, and what bushes do. And so it's really educational as far as what grows in Yuma.
There are also visitors, just coming in, understanding if they've never seen a desert wildflower or desert plants like a fairy duster. Sometimes people won't realize that that's actually a flower.
Right.
Things are a little different out here.
That's right. They are different.
But they're pretty.
Yes. It's just another way of looking. We don't have a lot of green, but we do have interesting forms and shapes, and when the wildflowers bloom, it's beautiful.
That's awesome. So I hope more visitors come out. Do you need donations to keep the garden going?
We always have donations. We just finished renovating our watering irrigation system, and we spent $30,000 doing that. It was raised mostly by our fundraising projects that we've had, so we had to work really hard. But now the water is working again, but we always have maintenance, and we always have remediation of things that we have termites in the garden, and they like to eat all of our wooden things, and so we're replacing those things. So it's an ongoing maintenance.
Now, when I was there's it was funny because being in January, there was the beginnings of the vegetables.
Right.
And so when we were there yesterday, here's the cabbage is ready, for harvest, and there's all the cherry tomatoes, and I had to tell Nancy, get your hands off the tomatoes.
Oh no, you're supposed to eat those.
You're supposed to. Okay, so we're allowed. Okay. Because I was like looking at this going, look at that. And she loves her cherry tomatoes, man.
Yeah, well, she should have had some.
Well, I was like, you can't do that. We won't have anything to photograph.
Well, that's true, but it is available for people.
Wow. And the healing garden is something very, very unique. In fact, I photographed it for a friend of ours because he collects photos of gazebos for his blog.
Okay.
Jim Ostick, here it is. Here's about your healing garden. It's not a gazebo, but it is. It's a ramada out here. What I found very interesting about it is that it's curved, and there's something about that, and you were part of the design of this, that having that curved part, isn't that part of, there's something healing just in that?
Right. All of the plants in the garden are in that area, although in the rest of the garden it's true. All of those plants have medicinal qualities, even the ones in the ground. Those are local plants that people have used for centuries to cure ailments. But the ones in the ramada themselves, those are domestic herbs.
Okay.
That people use.
Right, nasturtiums and...
Right, and they're medicinal as well as culinary herbs.
I know. Nancy was going to go after the tomatoes. I was going to go after the nasturtiums. And I was like, it's a flower. I don't want to kill it.
If you pinch it off, it'll just grow more.
I know. I just have a hard time with that. Now, are there any lessons or anything that we can attend while we're here in Yuma? Do you have any special events that you do?
We just had an event, our appreciation Saturday. But just coming on Tuesday, everyone comes to work in the garden on Tuesday, and if anyone wants to know about what grows or ask questions about what they see in the garden, all the master gardeners and the people that are volunteers, we have a lot of volunteers, they're there to help you out. So if you have a question, somebody will know the answer, I'm sure.
Will you put us to work too?
You could come.
Okay.
That means you have to bring gloves. And,
Okay.
But we do have tools in the shed in our barn that people can use, and so just bring yourself.
And Bill, doesn't this go back to your dad too in regards to volunteering? Because when you're starting a 4-H club and things like that, that's giving of your time to the community.
Yes,
so that's
and my goodness, the folks at the support group for the demonstration garden, it's people from the garden club, it's master gardeners, and yeah, they're just giving of their time. It's the enjoyment of doing it that is the reason why they're there. It's helping out the garden, it's helping out the community, and of course there's a true enjoyment.
That's right.
In growing
it's personal
things.
Therapy, right?
Oh, I like
that too.
It's the best therapy.
I think
when you're doing it together, it's the fellowship, it's the sharing of ideas and the sharing of knowledge.
Right.
That makes working down there very special.
One thing I wanted to ask you as an appraiser, and you know, living here your whole life, how has Yuma grown in regards to? Are more people moving here from like California and things like that? Is there like a consistent growth in real estate? And
yes, the community's growing in terms of the population. It is people from California. It's military that they come here because they're assigned here, and then in some cases when they retire, they're either already here or they decide to move back to Yuma because they like the community and find it's a good place to raise their children. So for a variety of reasons, people are coming here. The agricultural industry here is very strong. We grow winter produce, lettuce and romaine, and we're the primary place to grow it in the winter months. And that has been very profitable. We also have the military, which is a strong part of our economy, and then we have the tourism that includes our winter visitors. That's also a strong part of our economy.
And the history, man, brings a lot of people here. You know, it really does. And the river now, the way the restoration has happened. And
yeah, great.
Yeah, I'm amazed at, you know, we've been covering Yuma for over 20 years and watching what's happened on the riverfront. I mean, when I look at the community of what has been achieved, I mean, the agencies had to work together to restore the wetlands and come together. I think that is a sign. And then all these gardens, like the hummingbird garden, the butterfly garden, and now the Moody garden, the conservation garden. I'm like, where did all this come from? Community.
And a lot of it, both along the riverfront and the Moody Gardens, it was years of just working at it and getting it started. So much of what you see along the riverfront just really has bloomed. It has really taken fruit in the last 5 to 10 years, but absolutely it's been a 20-year process to get it going. And it's not just along the riverfront, that's also the downtown.
Yeah, look at the downtown and the arts.
Yeah, it's really turned around down here, and it was the same way with the garden. You folks worked on the garden for what, 3-4 years before a shovel was ever put in the ground.
Wow.
True. Yeah. Our planning and organization.
Patience and persistence.
Yes.
That's a nice way to say it.
Yeah, but then you get rewarded with cherry tomatoes and this.
That's right.
Blossoms. I love it. The one last question is, I noticed that in the walkways, the bricks have names on that. Was that a fundraising thing
that's
you did?
a fundraising, ongoing fundraising activity. So people can purchase a brick, and then we'll have it install it in our walkways.
Awesome. Everyone, we're putting up the story and video up on nationalparktraveling.com. You can also go to loveyourparkstour.com. And can we consider this a park? Can we put this as a park? Is a garden legally a park? Do we care about legal?
Oh, I think you can
Why not?
be liberal in your thoughts about that, yeah.
Because you have a picnic table.
Yeah, it's used by the public
It's
constantly.
Free. You can go anytime.
I've seen people have picnics down there. They just stop in and eat their sandwiches, or it's a rendezvous point maybe in the mid-afternoon.
When we're working, there's always someone there,
There's
either walking through or having lunch.
I saw people yesterday taking photos for their engagement.
That's right.
So a lot of people go in, and do you have weddings out there?
I think we've had a couple. We're not, that's not our major emphasis, but yeah, it's available.
You have the small amphitheater there that would lend itself to meetings if someone wants to have a small event there.
Nice. And everyone, you can find them on Facebook. Just look up Moody Gardens is the tag for that. And you're also part of the U of A website. And it's a big log link, so we'll send it out on our article because I can't read that link.
It's long.
Thank you both for sharing a story of excellence.
Nancy and Lisa, and of course Priscilla, this is Bobby D. Porter, co-founder of Supercamp and creator of the 8 Keys of Excellence. Well done on completing another installment of your Stories of Excellence series.